Hi, welcome to my cultural bag. So this is my bag. My grandma gave this to me when I graduated high school. It is a Vera Bradley bag. It has some black, some pink, some white, some green, and it has some elephants on there. And in between the elephants, there are little flowers in between them, which I really like it because I like flowers. Um, this bag also is pink. It has pink in it. My favorite color is pink. I love the color of pink. I think I'm obsessed with it because a lot of things that I own are pink or have pink in them. Um, and every time my friends find something pink in the store, they're like, "Oh my gosh, I found this pink thing and it reminded me of you." And I just think it's really cool that whenever they see the color pink, they just think of me. It also has elephants on it, which my favorite animal is elephants. Um, as well as the color pink, everybody knows that I'm close with, at least. They know that I have a lot of things that are elephant related. I have a lot of shirts with elephants on them. I collect elephant figures sometimes. It's just a part of who I am. I really love elephants a lot. So the first thing in my bag are my Irish dance shoes. So I started Irish dance when I was 7. I started in a school that only does show for parents, and they also don't specifically specialize in Irish dancing. They did other like tap and jazz and hip hop. So we had a big show where all of them would perform, and then we'd have like a group dance all together. But then I found that kind of boring because I did it for so long. So I moved to a school that was specifically for Irish dancers, and we would compete and also put on shows for our family, which I thought was really cool because at the end of the year, we would show what dances we've been working on and learned, or what dances we have performed in competitions, and we would put on a whole big show. And there were also outside carnival rides, and everything there was Irish themed. So they would also have little venues that show what an Irish wedding and an Irish funeral looked like, which I thought was really cool because I would have never known. So I remember when I was in dance and for competitions, we had to wear these very expensive, heavy dresses. Some of them were about $4,000. Mine was $1,000, which was the cheapest dress that I have seen there. So they're really expensive. We also had to wear heavy wigs, which were way too heavy for my head. So many bobby pins. It was kind of hard to dance in and kind of uncomfortable. And I also had to glue my socks with actual glue to my ankles because they would always be falling. And I remember they would take points off sometimes if your dress was too short or if your socks were falling down. So it made it very hard to compete sometimes. I stopped when I was in high school Irish dancing, but it is a big part of my culture because my family is Irish. So me doing Irish dance was a big thing for me and my family because I was representing our culture. I had so much fun doing it though, and it also made me spend time with my family more because they would always be there and they would come to every competition that I was in and they would just root for me, and it was really, really fun to be there. So the next thing I have that goes along with my Irish dance shoes is my Irish dance medal. So this is from the Chicago Autumn Fest, and this was the first medal that I ever won. I have about 20 something medals, I believe. And so for this one, I got fourth place out of 8 girls, which was very exciting, especially because it was my first competition ever. And normally, if it's your first competition, you may or may not get into the top 4, which I was very proud of myself. But I was also kind of disappointed because you want top 3, but fourth place is okay too. After that, I did more competitions for about 5 years, and some of them I came in the top 3, some of them I didn't really place at all, but it was just really fun to do. And again, I was really happy to spend time with my family whenever we did have competition, and even if I didn't win, they were still there rooting for me, and I was number one in their eyes. So that's really all that matters, if you have fun and your family supports you. So the next thing I have is this gold pot. pin with a shamrock on there. For this pin, it represents my culture a lot because, as I said, my family is Irish, and I remember my great grandma gave me this pin before she died. I went to go visit her in the nursing home, and I was telling her about my competition that was coming up, and I was very nervous about it, I remember. And so she found this pin, and she told me that I can keep it because it's lucky, and it holds a very special place in my heart. I don't really wear it that often because I'm afraid I'm going to lose it because I lose a lot of things, and especially with pins. For some reason, I can never keep a pin to stay on my shirt, so I don't want to wear it because I know it's going to happen, and I don't want to lose it because it's very, very special to me. Although I do keep it around in like my bag, or I have it in a jewelry box at my house, and it gives me, I think it gives me luck because I'm sometimes a very lucky person when I have it around me. But it's always just there to keep reminding me of my culture and my grandma. So the next thing I have is this plate. So my grandparents went to Holland a couple years ago, and they were moving to Florida a couple months ago, and as they were moving, my grandma was getting rid of all her stuff. She didn't want to take anything with her. So she gave me this plate that I got from Holland. What I really like about this plate is that it has the colorful flowers around the edge, and it's very detailed on some of them, like these pink ones. I like the horse in the middle because it has a lot of patterns on it, and I like the red of it. I think it's really cool. And then on the top it says Svrij. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. I don't know how to speak. I think it's Swedish. I don't know how to speak it, but I'm assuming that it's right. But it translates to Sweden in English. This is part of my culture because my family is from Holland. I did a little bit of research a couple months ago about my family, and I found out that my great-great-great-grandparents came from Holland to the U.S. I also did the 23andMe DNA test, and it said that most of my family comes from the Netherlands region, and I think that's really cool because I always knew that we were Dutch, but I didn't know how much of us were Dutch and where we came from. But I would really like to visit Holland one day so I know more about our culture and where my grandparents went and where my great-great-grandparents grew up, because I think it would really open my eye on our culture. So the next thing I have, or the last thing I have, or actually the next thing I have, not the last thing I have, are my guard gloves. So my guard gloves are a part of my culture because they really shaped who I am today. I have spent so many years and hours in practice that I was able to make that really close bond with my team, and some of them are still my best friends today. We would have to practice twice a week for 3 hours, and then we would have all-day practices on competition weekends. So we'd have a competition on Saturday or Sunday. We would be practicing all day the day before. So we were able to spend so much time together. Even though I don't do it anymore, I'm still passionate about it today. I even brought my rifle to school with me, so when I have free time or when the weather's nice, I go spin it. Color guard will always be a part of me. I had a lot of stuff going on in high school and a lot of emotional stuff going on, and whenever I went to color guard, it helped me because I was able to just spin all my anger and my sadness out, and I was able to just go away from it for a while. So it really changed who I was, and I'm still very passionate about it. And I also consider it as art. So I am part of that art culture because it is dance. It does have a lot of dance into it, especially during Winter Guard. In Winter Guard, it's basically the same thing as Color Guard, but without the band, and it's more fluid and dancey, which that's what I really liked. Also, since Irish dance is dance that is also part of the art culture, so I really consider myself as part of the art culture, and I really love to dance. So the last object I have in my bag is this cross. I got this cross in my communion, my first communion in second grade. I kind of lost my religious path, and I'm kind of confused on my beliefs when my parents got divorced about 2 years ago. Religion plays a big part in my family, especially on my dad's side. My grandparents and my dad go to church every Sunday. They do all the holiday masses. They do all the religious things that go into being Catholic. But every time I look at this cross, it kind of reminds me every so often of who I am, and that I will find my place again on the religious path. And it also reminds me that whatever I do, whatever I decide to believe in or not to believe in, that I will have something there guiding me to make right decisions and be a good person. I believe that really it truly matters if you're a good person and you make right decisions. But with this, I know that it will help me make right choices and be on the path that I want to be on. So thank you for watching my cultural bag. I can't wait to see other people's in their cultural bag. So thank you.